What's going on, guys? Welcome to Accountability for All. And today we're talking about the illegal kidnapping, illegal search and seizure, the illegal assault, and the direct assault against freedom. Joe Orga's arrest and the Worcester Police Department. Now, Joe is not with me right now, but he asked me to say something, and he has a direct quote he'd like to say concerning this tyrant, roid raging, violent person. And Joe says to this officer, to this police department, Joe says, I want him arrested and in jail. I want his badge. I want his wife to divorce him, his kids to disown him, and his dog to bite him. That's from Joe Orga. Direct quote. Joe demands justice. He wants this violent, mentally unstable, little man syndrome guy. He wants him arrested and in jail. He wants his wife to divorce him, his kids to disown him, and his dog to bite him. Direct quote from Joe Orga. And he also wants the politicians to know that, this is a very serious case. This is no question. In my case, I was arrested for filming. Some people said, it wasn't right to say F the cops. And, I was allowed to do it, and it was my freedom to do so. But maybe it wasn't the right thing to say. It wasn't morally correct. Well, feelings don't trump rights. But in Joe's case, he's having a conversation with the desk sergeant. And this violent, lunatic, criminal creep storms around the corner and illegally takes Joe's phone. We're not being detained. You're not detained when you're asking a question or having a conversation. Okay? So steals his phone, tries to snatch mine, tries to snatch Hot Tow Truck's phone. So I throw my phone in my pocket, still recording the situation. Danielle's actually in the fray, continuing to record. So they grab Joe, they assault him. So now in 50 seconds, we have 3 assaults and an illegal search and seizure. They push Joe out the door. This cop grabs me, as you can see in the video, uses my face as a door opener, pushes me through the door. So we're outside, and the cop says while we're inside, he goes, "You think you can come and photograph people in here?" Well, yeah, we can. It's a constitutionally protected activity. Joe says, "I want my phone." So the cop throws the phone 20 feet in the air. It comes smashing down. And the cop says, "You want your phone? Go get it." So Joe goes to get his phone because he's just ordered to. And when he goes to get his phone, the sergeant arrests him, and you can hear him say, "Well, now we're arresting you for disturbing a plant." Have you watched the video on Hot Tow Truck Girl's channel? The cop that's doing all this assaulting actually tramples that very plant that apparently Joe has disturbed. Now, you'll see one thing. No one talks about arrest until Joe points this cop down and says to the other officers, "It's your obligation to arrest him. I want this cop arrested now." And at that point, they arrest him for stepping on a plant. And then the same cop that likes to illegally search, that likes to illegally assault and kidnap people, he says the Constitution is shit. Our United States Constitution, our amendments, our freedom is shit. The cop, Michelle's Momo Media, the cop did kick the plant. This is a fact. Now, I don't have another phone to give you the play-by-play. I released a video last night with an interview with Joe Orga, and the first minute and 30 seconds is really just the highlight reel of everything. We started it off with this cop's assault to show that he wasn't even involved in the conversation with Joe Orga. He just comes around in like a suspected roid rage and just loses it, probably because he doesn't get laid and he's got like micro penis. So he has a meltdown, loses it. So we need a mental examination from this criminal officer. Plants do have rights too. It's clear that, so watch Hot Tow Truck Girl, go to her channel, and watch the entire video from beginning to end. But when Joe is getting cuffed, the camera's kind of upside down because they were coming after us. We didn't want our phone stolen too, but we wanted to get everything that happened to Joe on film to hold these officers accountable and get them charged, send them to jail. Because the cops that didn't touch him, they're just as liable as the cop that did, because they had a constitutional duty, not to their policy, but to the oath that they swore in office to defend Joe as a citizen, practicing his constitutional rights. So they're just as guilty as he is. And this cop tramples a plant, and then they arrest Joe for kicking the plant that the cop just trampled. Here's another thing. If you watch the video, I actually point out there's a backpack behind the dispatch room, and there's a sign that says, "Do not touch." So citizens can't go in there. So whatever cop this is, with whoever backpack it is, he feels, this Worcester police officer feels that his co-officers are so untrustworthy. They are so very much thieves, just like this cop, that he needs to put a sign. The only people that have access to his shit are his other fellow officers. But he needs to put up a sign to say, "Don't touch." Well, maybe he got tired of stealing shit from his own fellow officers, so he decided to steal Joe's phone. I mean, this isn't like my arrest. You know, there was a protest before, police tension were high, they wanted to beat the shit out of some citizens. This guy just had a roid rage over an issue he wasn't even involved in, and in less than 50 seconds, there were 3 assault and batteries and an illegal search and seizure. He shit all over the Constitution, which makes sense because later in the video he says the Constitution is shit. It's, and just some Stoneham. Listen, I've been stabbed, okay? I got the battle scars to show it, right? Hold on. Battle scars to show it. I've been stabbed in my arrests. You've never seen me scream. My face doesn't change from what it normally is. But that's because, like, in court, when they took me away, I wasn't being physically assaulted. Like, not for nothing. Watch the video. Why would he go to his knees? He's handcuffed. Now, this officer, roid rage, runs up. You'll see him grab Joe's sweatshirt pocket and then like this. I can't do it because I got stabbed there. I can't close my hand all the way. But he'll go like this, and he'll go boom, hit him right in the solar plexus. And you'll see Joe go, like that's the picture. It says assaulted. You'll see him suck his air in. And then the cops behind him grab the chain between the 2 cuffs and wrench it up, forcing his arms to dislocate and go back like this, forcing him into his knees. On top of that, the cuffs were super tight, so he was being tortured. It's unconstitutional. It's cruel and unusual punishment. So we're violating 3 amendments. So that's why he was in so much pain. Like, you can see this wasn't an arrest. I mean, obviously, these officers had a very personal relationship with that plant, because they avenged that plant. They are the plant avengers. And they're going to get fired. This isn't a case like mine. Like, this cop screwed up in my case, in my Boston arrest, and I'll probably win a nice big settlement. But this cop screwed up bad. I'm telling you this, guys. He's going to lose his job. And I don't want any money. I don't want a dime from him. I want his pension. And I want his pension to be donated to the Victims Against Police Violence Fund. And I want his kids to go hungry. I want his grandkids, alligators, goldfish to starve on the street with a cup outside of a Dunks, begging for money, because everyone that this cop has assaulted is living pretty while he's not. And as Where's My Chicken said, he got palm struck. Now, this fist doesn't cover as much wide of a region. You know when people give you CPR, they make this motion. When you hit someone in the solar plexus like that, it takes the wind right out of them. Right out of them. And let's not be deleting messages in here, guys, unless they're violating community guidelines. I just saw our message was deleted, and it seems that it was Great Lakes Crusaders' message was deleted. Great Lakes Crusader is a good dude, always in here. There's no reason for his stuff to be deleted. So, who has questions about this issue? Let's open it up to the floor. Who's seen this arrest? What's up, Stacy? Okay, well, WS, here's what I'm catching. Your message wasn't deleted. You just typed message deleted. So I want to draw everyone's attention to this freedom-hating prick, WS. What he does is he puts brackets. He writes message deleted, and then he writes end brackets. When your message is deleted, it will show above which moderator deleted your message. So he's just trying to make it look like people are deleting messages. Scumbag. So, who has questions? What's up, Muggs? Who has questions about his arrest and about what happened? Yeah, just some stoner. The arrest is bullshit. The arrest is absolutely bullshit. And I know that there's people that come into my chat rooms and they say, oh, we're for you, Josh. We love you. And they'll put all this praise, and then they'll go into another chat room and then they'll talk all sort of smack. Don't think I don't get emailed like 1,000 screenshots every day. It's your freedom of speech to be fake if you're fake. It's your freedom of speech to be real if you're real. And thank you for Dusted69. Guys, check out his channel. This is the type of stuff that's super important. Dusted69. Okay? Dusted69 is, in some southern part of the U.S., Midwest part of the U.S. He calls and he speaks to a dispatcher and he goes, excuse me, ma'am. I want to call and report a crime. She goes, what? Well, there's an incident that just happened in your lobby. Are you aware of it? She says, no. He goes, well, there's some citizens in there, peaceful people, and some violent, there's a quote, some violent, roid rage, excuse my language, son of a bitch, comes around and violently assaults them. And she says, were you there? He goes, yeah, I'm a witness. I was live. She goes, but were you present? He goes, I saw everything. And she goes, well, let me give you to the dispatch station. And he goes, well, I tried calling there and they're not answering. And her response, I shared it on my community page. Check it out. Her response is, well, that's because you people keep on calling. And he says, well, don't you think we should be able to call and redress our grievances? And then she realizes that she's like, this guy's catching her up. And she goes, oh, of course, let me give you the number. Thin Blue Gang, they stick together. So we want to know what your questions are. So auditing auditor has a very stupid question. Someone once said that there's no such thing as a stupid question. They hadn't heard auditing auditor's question yet. Why didn't you film the assault? I did. As you can see, the video I released yesterday was not Hot Tow Truck Girls footage. That was my own footage. I got everything on camera and I released it yesterday. So you're an idiot. Your footage would have been 100% better than it was put out there. So the footage from yesterday is my footage. I get them kicking the plant. I get the cop punching him while he's handcuffed. And I got the interaction, like the video that shows Joe's phone being grabbed and them grabbing at me, that's my footage. So, some people just got to do their due diligence. Josh, why are people passing around pictures? Maybe they're sick. I don't know. News Now Patrick. Jason Tony, send me an email and I'll put you in touch at News Now Patrick. I've spoken to him from time to time on Facebook Messenger. News 5 boiled corruption was so scared to call the pigs out. So scared. Scared to death. So let me just say this, rah-rah-ree. What's going on? Jay-Bird, Jay-Shade, Hawkeye, what's going on? So let's just say that other offices have been contacted, government offices and police programs that can hold these guys accountable. And let's just say one of them was very interested in passing along that video footage. So I don't want to give too much information. And everyone, listen, check it out. You can go to Joa Orga's PayPal account, www.paypal.me/CRRI. His bail was only $40. He was able to bail himself out on personal recognizance. But he's got to have a lawyer going to court with him. And this is one of those cases where he wants great defense. He wants a great attorney. So that way, not only can these charges be dropped against him, but the charges can be pursued against the other officers. I want his kids to starve because he puts them in danger. Well, I don't want his kids to starve, Tony M. He wants his kids to starve. Because when you assault the U.S. Constitution and the very freedom that we exist by, and you lose your pension and your kids go hungry, don't blame accountability for all. Don't blame breaking the flaws Joe Orga. See, there's a flaw in the legal system, in the injustice system. And Joe Orga is breaking that flaw. Maybe now you can understand where his channel name came from. Well, Hoss dude, maybe this officer had a father who also assaulted freedom, and his pension was taken and given to the Victims Against Police Violence Fund, and this officer grew up hungry, which is why he's so mentally screwed up. Will do, Ken Dalton. Yeah, I want them to understand how much it sucks. And they can disown their father. Listen, when they disown their father, I don't want them to be hungry. Everyone donate to their PayPal account as well. How about them apples? All right. Yeah, they are gods. They are POS. That's for sure. Gods of Egypt, they're POS. I don't have charges. Joe was charged with disorderly conduct and trespassing, which is the best part. He's arrested for disturbing a plant, but then they realize that they have no grounds. And the phones were shut down for like 2.5 hours. So they were in like scramble mode. They were in ass coverage mode. Did Joe have a gun with him? No, Joe did not have a gun with him. Joe did not have a gun with him. I didn't even realize that was a rumor right now. Let's see. Someone should mute Hawkeye for spamming. What? I constantly watch you, Enrique. Thanks, Coy Carter. Well, guys, that's accurate. This is accurate. I was actually going to do a little video on this, so we'll talk about it right now. West Roxbury PD has indeed charged me, okay, with telecommunications to annoy. That's the charge, right? Telecommunications to annoy. So, and I don't want to talk too much about my stuff. This is the big news I was actually going to touch base on. I was waiting to get some paperwork. So I am inside of a police department filming. And I'm on the other side of the police department when this lady says her name and her phone number out loud. And then the dispatcher regurgitates the number several times, right? Now, I'm not even filming her when the number is released. It's, I'm filming somewhere else when she reads it aloud. So she gets in an argument with me and she starts like, I'm telling her she's an idiot, you're stupid, stuff like that. And she's saying like, F you, F me, go F yourself, suck my D, all this stuff. So finally I leave, I continue to do my audit, and I get a summons in the mail. And the summons says telecommunications to annoy, okay? So the statute reads that I must have asked people to call her, which I didn't. And I didn't even say don't call. I didn't even notice during the video at that point that her number had been regurgitated. The other barrier that they have to meet is that my sole purpose of going to film at this specific station was because I knew this woman would be there. I knew she would regurgitate her phone number, and I knew people would contact her. So because of her attitude and because of how rude she was being, people constantly kept text messaging her and calling her. And I guess she reports it when her boyfriend sees all these text messages from all these dudes, and he makes her go in. Thank you, Tony. Thank you so much. He makes her go in to file this report about a month after the video is taken. So those charges, I can guarantee you, are going to be beat. And I've actually been putting together a little collage from that video, copy of the paperwork, getting some stuff from my attorney, and because he went in there with me. And, we wanted to release another video because this is an affront to freedom. This is what they do. They try like not for nothing, but there's some stuff that's got maybe a little leg to stand on, and then there's some stuff that's just bullshit. Like you can't blame me because people call you when you read your own number, and not for nothing. No, sometimes I'll be like, "Oh, don't call," wink. I didn't even realize she had read her number out loud. So, and the only reason people called her was to tell her that she was an asshole. And the other thing was, if I was annoying her and accosting her by calling her an idiot and stupid, when she's saying S my D, go F yourself and all this stuff, she's incriminated herself. She's incriminated herself at that point. Because if I'm criminally negligent by calling her an idiot, which I guess freedom of speech doesn't matter anymore, then she's, pointing the finger at herself when she's using disgusting derogatory language that actually breaks the barrier of freedom of speech. So a criminal complaint has been taken out against her because she's perjured herself, and she's also pointed the finger at herself. So let's take a peek. Actually, what's great, Ken Adams? We read the police report, which I've seen, and we're getting a copy of it, and the police report actually matches my narrative. So that's the beauty of this, because there's a very low threshold of evidence at a magistrate's hearing, and the magistrate actually didn't decide that day. It took like 2 weeks, and then he just said, we'll push it forward. I can guarantee you that this will not be pursued on arraignment. Guarantee it. Guarantee it. Because if they did want to pursue it, it doesn't meet the elements, so they're going to have to drop the telecommunications, because I can't be in control that other people called her because she regurgitated her own number. Number two, if I'm annoying her and annoying, like if I'm talking trash to her by calling her an idiot, then she's just incriminated herself, because on video, she's calling me every name under the book, and not once have I sweared. So their choices are going to be, we'll move forward against Josh, but they'll have to move forward against the person that lodged the complaint. So their witness becomes a defendant, and now they're charging both people. One's a witness. There's an assault to freedom. This is getting dropped. I can guarantee it. So let's get back to Joe's issue. Thanks, DJ Dancing Dave. So I'm not aware of what comments were said in regards to Ken Adams' message. None of these messages that this woman received were from me. She even testified that not once has she received a phone call, a text message, and all of the messages she received, no one said that I asked them to call. They all basically say, hey, I watched a video, I heard your number in it, and I'm touching base with you to say whatever I have to say. So I don't know what was actually said to her. That's something I don't know. But anyways, going back to Joe. We want to be honest with you, off the top of my head, I forget her name. But I'm gonna do a whole thing, a collage video, releasing the police report, talking about the paperwork, everything like that. So we're gonna go over it. What's up, Road to Prison? Oh, Channel 5 is pressing charges too. Well, I don't know how here's the thing, guys. Some of you people are so stupid. So when I call back Channel 5, I said, are you gonna be coming down here? And they say, well, no, we're not going to be coming down there. We're not interested in the story. But, you can't record without people's consent. Well, thank God I got her consent. Because on the live stream, when I first contact the news, how was she able to find my video? To even look at Joe's arrest and to look at his assault? Because I said I'm live right now. Go to my live broadcast that I am currently live. You're live right now. And you can rewind. She says, okay. So she knew she was being recorded. But if she's so stupid and fake enough in the news to decide that she doesn't want to cover police corruption because she needs to do a fluff piece for Worcester PD, then maybe she's too stupid to remember that she was just watching a live broadcast. So how you can complain you didn't know you were recorded when you can hear your voice on a live broadcast? Well, I don't answer questions, but sounds pretty dumb to me. What's up, Jay Shade? Okay. Do you partly feel responsible, or even do you feel bad that this woman's number was given out because you were trying to make a point? Like I said, this number was given out when I was at a different part of the building. I was filming a sign. A sign, mind you. So, and secondly, there's no expectation of privacy in public. Thirdly, she was being an asshole. Like a real asshole. I actually left, and then she started going on again. Like, you know what I mean? There's no expectation of privacy in public. And the officer that was there comes out and tells this woman they're allowed to film. What they're saying is freedom of speech, so we're not going to do anything about it. So an officer was present when this happened. When her boyfriend sees all these text messages from other dudes, then it becomes a problem. Probably because she knows that I did nothing wrong. Then her boyfriend snoops in her phone and sees all these messages and goes, who's all these other dudes? This is effed up. And then she tells him, oh, I was in the police station. You better go to the police right now and file a report. I'm going to break up with you. That's probably what happened. Well, whatever. Let's see. No, you aren't, Charlie. How do I get all this time off from work to do these audits? Well, guys, this is work. This is work. Like, I was in jail 3 weeks out of the month, so I got to make up for some lost time. But when I'm not in jail 3 weeks out of the month for false charges, we do pretty well. And plus, freedom fighting is a full-time job, just like cop licking is. Just like sucking cop boots. So how can you ask me how I have so much time to film cops when you have so much time to get on your knees and lick boots? Double standard, huh? Weird. I like that. Reports are coming in of a collision between a prison van and a concrete mixer. Police are looking for 4 hardened criminals. That's a good one. I like that. I like that. Here's the thing. People will come at me and say that I'm e-begging. I'm giving out Joe Orga's PayPal. Right? There were some donations that came in yesterday, and people like to talk all sorts of shit. Let me tell you this. So, and I took screenshots of them all. I wasn't even... We start getting $200 and $100 donations, multiple at a time, from this really great guy out in, he's Norwegian, and it says $200 NOK. That's NOK. That's the Norwegian crown. So $200 NOK is about $19 US. So people start releasing stuff saying, I got like $600 in Joe Orga's name. $600. They're telling Joe Orga, he got like $600. He's stealing money from you. $94. Because 100 NOK equals $9 US. And me and Joe Orga are laughing about it because people will just make up whatever they want. So I actually took screenshots of the donations and put them on this person's Facebook page, and I said, so you'll publicly talk shit when you're wrong. Will you publicly apologize when you get proved wrong? Whatever. Yeah, I straight up said it was only $20. But here's the thing. It's not only $20, just some stoner. A cent is a step in the right direction that can go toward Joe Orga's lawyer, okay? It's not just $20, like, oh, $20. I appreciate that. Joe appreciates that. The only reason we're saying it's just $20 is because it wasn't 200. It's NOK. Like, you live in the US. You should know the difference between your currency and another country's. And then I doubled down and I took a picture of that screenshot that said 200 NOK, and I went to a currency translator. And as of that day, it was worth like $19.88 on the US dollar. So some people just hate freedom. So these guys are running around pissing off cops. Then these cops come out on the street and deal with us. Get it now. Here's the thing. We're not pissing off cops. You guys will tell me how boring my videos are when we go into a police station and they pass. So I'm not pissing off the cops that don't do anything wrong, because why would they get pissed off if they're doing nothing wrong? They're doing something right. So the cops that get pissed off are the cops that are illegally searching and seizing people's properties. And then you get pissed because they pull you over after they just dealt with Joe Orga. You should be more pissed that they're employed in the first place. That someone, when this guy's so mentally screwed up and he probably eats pepperoni pizza with 9mm bullets for breakfast until the 37th of February, because he's so mentally disturbed that he even has a gun and handcuffs to be able to roam around and do that shit in the first place. Redress your grievances with the PD that hires him and employs him and defends him, not with the people that exposed him. Yeah, he was definitely a pervert pig. But, I mean, you have a crazed lunatic pig, so why are we surprised that there was a crazed pervert pig? Thanks, Val. Winnie GMU says 100 SEK knock is about $9 US. Yep, we got a $200 donation in knock. We got $200 donations in knock and a $50 donation in knock. So where's the big announcement? Vice News. I have nothing to say. I'm disinclined to acquiesce to your inquiry at this point. Last time I had a job not on YouTube? That's a valid question. I was a service manager and general manager for a major franchise restaurant local to the area. And I worked in a Burlington location, a Chelsea location, and a Reading location for that company. What's up, Tucson Lori? Everyone go to Tucson Lori Cop Watch. Where it is, she does an excellent impersonation of me, and so does her friends. I wasn't very happy with that impersonation. All right, well, that's some of you people are just so stupid. Bertucci's negative. I'm not going to say the name on here, but it was not Bertucci's. Thanks, man. Yeah, that's a great public servant accountability expert. Do it better. Or how about this? I don't even challenge you to do it better. I challenge you to do it at all. To get out there and do what I do. I'll face down 80 Antifas and then blame cops when they try and disperse me. I'll be in there defending freedom. You'll just sit at home behind a keyboard, fake, scared to death to do anything yourself, practicing the freedom that we're fighting to defend for you. So continue to have no girlfriend and eat gummy bears. We appreciate the sacrifice to your Weight Watchers plan. Okay, here we go. Auditing auditor. Again, you're stupid. When did I give up my ID? When we're talking about Brockton, illegally detained and assaulted. I did not give up my ID until he said I was detained. He physically grabbed me and threw me out the building because I refused to ID myself. The moment they say you're detained, you have to comply by law. I'm not out there breaking the law. I'm trying to hold officers accountable to make sure they're protecting the law. Thank you, Nick. Thank you for having an opinion. So once you're detained, I must give ID. But here's the thing. It's not even because he asked for ID, auditing auditor. When I'm giving an unlawful command, I'll obey it every time. Because he had no legal ability to detain. And he said I wasn't detained. When he grabbed me and physically assaulted me, I said, am I detained? He said, no, you're not detained. I'm escorting you. And I said, what crime do you suspect me of committing? He says, none. So if I'm not detained, I'm free to go. If I'm free to go, I'm free to stay. He's assaulting me. So the moment he asked me for ID, I could have fought it. I could have got a supervisor down there. Nope. I will so quickly give you my ID. I will so quickly allow you to violate my rights even further because the internal affairs report and the lawsuit's going to hurt so much more when I do that. When I comply to your unlawful command. Let's do it. So that's why. No, you're not required to. I mean, as a citizen, no, you're not required to carry identification with you. You can simply ID by your name and birth date. Michael Ramos says, Josh, I still 12 years in the Air Force. I fought for the United States Constitution. You're absolutely right. When I saw that efforts officer due to you was absolutely despicable as a violation of the Constitution. I think he meant Constitution at the end. Yes, lawsuits, yes. Yeah. Thank you, Hillbilly Jim. And thank you to all the people out there who are doing the right thing, who are doing their part to fight for the Constitution. You know? See. Joe's court date. Randy, I will get to you and message you Joe's court date. I didn't ask him if I could release that information. I actually forgot to go over that with everything else, and I don't want to release something without his consent. So, you know. Yep. Josh, you think the police in North America should all take drug and alcohol tests from everything from steroids to cooking? Yep, I think they should. They absolutely should. Do I think that we're going to see the people physically fighting back eventually? Guys, there was a revolution over a 1% tax. They stole people's property in a 1% tax. No normal person or educated person, like taxation without representation, right? No normal person can say that there was a revolution over a 1% tax. Now we have much more than a 1% tax. People's properties being illegally seized, assaulted, kidnapped by rogue cops. There's no accountability. There's no reason to say that another revolution couldn't take place. They're called constitutional amendments. The word to amend means to change. They can change. And here's the thing, is for so long, people have been so tolerant. When a cop asks for ID, they'll just give it. When a cop pulls you over because you didn't use a directional, when cops never use directionals, and they say, hey, I pulled you over for an unmarked lane change. Do you mind if I search your car and your anus? Sure, you're a police officer. No, it's conditioned. And it's conditioned at such a young age where the Constitution isn't even something that's touched on in school. So people have been conditioned over the years. But here's the thing. At least during the period of the Revolutionary War, Americans would speak out against the government. And it's the act of speaking where the government held them as terrorist or treasonous. Right now, just by thinking differently than the government, that's where they try and stop you. You don't even have to voice that. I mean, like, listen, tyranny is real. Tyranny's real. You know, they say that when the people are afraid of the government, it's tyranny, but when the government is afraid of the people, it is liberty. And they say that for a reason. They say that for a reason. We can't redress our grievances because we can't air our grievances on such a facetious platform. And we need folks like you to get involved and be part of the solution and make a difference. Script. Which script am I reading? I'm reading a script. I'm reading a script. No script. I'm looking right at the camera. But some of you people, the only thing I have here as a script is Joe Orga's message to the Worcester PD that says he wants this officer arrested in jail. He wants his badge. He wants his wife to divorce him, kids to disown him, and his dog to bite him. That's the only script I have. Matt, the IT guy. So some of you people are just gonna, and here's the thing. Here's the problem. Those of you that support officers like this, because you're giving them the charge pack to go out and violate these rights and these citizens. Okay? The tree of liberty must be refreshed from time to time with the blood of patriots and tyrants. And you get patriots like auditing America. I was arrested. Joe Orga was assaulted, kidnapped, and had his property seized on the name of freedom. There's service members both overseas and here at home that are fighting in their own way every day for the U.S., whether they're infantry in the front lines or they're changing the oil in the tanks that are going overseas to be in the front lines. And every time you watch one of these videos and you refuse to hold these cops accountable, and your eyes can tell you what you want, just because you say something doesn't mean it's true. You can't change the fact that an officer came out of nowhere and illegally seized Joe's phone while he wasn't detained without a warrant, attempted to steal my phone and tow truck, assaulted all three of us, shoved us out the door, then kidnapped Joe, and then punched him in the chest, kicked on a plant, and said he did it. These are all facts. And the fact that your grievances that you're redressing are with the auditors that are exposing it and not the cops that are conducting it is domestic terrorism and support of the tyranny in the very first place. So why don't you call up Queen Elizabeth, God save the Queen, because you know what? The Constitution, the way that this country's set up, is very much like England. The only thing above Her Majesty the Queen is God himself. Whether you believe or not, the only thing that is said to be above the Constitution is God itself. I was talking to Josh Martinez last night, friend of James Freeman, huge freedom fighter, and we were talking that rights aren't privileges. These are inalienable truths, right? It cannot be any law that is against the Constitution is not a law that you must obey. So if one of these laws slips through the cracks that says you're not allowed to film inside the police department or we'll put you in jail, and it doesn't get caught, when I see that sign, I don't have to obey it, because the Constitution automatically nullifies any law that violates or is in violation with the Constitution. These are your rights. You have the right to liberty, the pursuit of happiness, and no one can interrupt that pursuit of happiness. They were smart enough to not guarantee happiness, because with these pigs running around gallant, you can't guarantee happiness. But the pursuit of it cannot be interrupted. No one can interrupt your progress to freedom from illegal search and seizure and to the pursuit of happiness. And I'm going to be touching base with Josh Martinez, and I want him to, because he's one of the most educated individuals that I've seen when it comes to the Constitution. Okay? Josh, what do you say to BS people saying you didn't let Danielle talk and you control her? Well, Matt, we were catching this cop up here because what you'll see is he was escalating. He kept talking to her because he was afraid to talk to me and to talk to Joa. He looked at her as weak. Okay? So then he tries to escalate the situation by saying, "Ma'am, do you need assistance?" At this point, he sets the stage for disorderly. So we let him know exactly what's going on. Okay? That's called one tyrant, three activists. If you're getting jumped by three people, you're not just going to fight off one of the people, right? You want to fight off three of them. So we gave it to him from three angles. Let him know how freedom looks in 3D. We'll call it freedy. Freedom, 3D freedom. That's what it was. George Delmar, follow the sheeple. Okay, beautiful, beautiful. I love that you said that. Because, and forgive me for misquoting, but Benjamin Franklin said, when people sacrifice, how does it go? When people sacrifice freedom, what's the exact word? It's not comfortability. Someone help me out here, having a brain fart. When people sacrifice freedom for anyone? Safety. Thank you. When people sacrifice freedom for safety, they will eventually get neither. Okay? People get comfortable in their daily freedom for security. Thank you. Thank you. Freedom for security. When people get so caught up in their daily slave lives, they make $1 billion a year. They drive 8 nice cars. They have 12 hot wives and perfect kids. And they don't want to go fight for freedom. They don't want to lose that. They become the sheeple. And they indoctrinate their children into that same cycle. When they sacrifice freedom for security, liberty for security, and for safety, we must never give up our liberties. Okay? They're guaranteed to you. Don't ever give them up. Don't ever. Those who would give up essential liberty, hold on. Those who would give up essential liberty to purchase a little temporary safety deserves neither liberty nor safety. Okay? All right, just trying to go through some questions. What is it? Do you feel that you're exact quote I asked you, a citizen who sacrifices liberties for freedom? Oh yeah, the exact quote is, a citizen who sacrifices liberty for freedom deserves neither. Thank you. Appreciate that. I was hoping someone had posted that. Melissa Lynn says, life without liberty is like a body without spirit. But here's the thing, guys. We're born with guaranteed liberty. Our constitutional rights are not subject to change. Like, you're allowed to practice them. No one can interfere with them. Where are the crooked criminals at? Don't give this guy your money. Go see Joe, if anything. Yep. So like I've been saying from the beginning, we've put Joe's PayPal account on every single page. And if you can't donate directly to Joe's PayPal, he'll give you his lawyer information. Call him and you can pay his lawyer directly. Case laws are enslavement. Yuck, I can't listen to this bullshit anymore. I hope anyone else will actually take his challenge and audit better, because Josh sucks. Nothing but lies and excuses. Well, it's your freedom to say that. And you know what? Myself and folks like Joe Orga and Auditing America are going out there risking our freedom so you can practice yours. Thank you for being a domestic terrorist. That happens. Thoughts about TSA and their practices. Listen, my thing about TSA is it goes right back to that quote. When you sacrifice freedom for security. And in this day and age, listen, I'm not a securities expert. I believe we have the right to illegal search and seizure, and TSA has presented themselves in such a manner where it's two-party consent. You don't have to go through security. You don't have to go on vacation. You're deciding to, so you're consenting to search. You can always drive a car there. So at the end of the day, they're not so much violating rights. We're consenting. Thank you, Chris. Okay, Josh, what do you say to people saying you use SubPals? Exactly 100 new subscribers each day in the last week. What if I told you you were wrong? Not 100. I mean, it averages out. One day I had 60. The next day I had 78. The next day I had 106. The next day I had 172. The same thing I say to the people that told me I had no subscribers for 3 weeks after I got out of jail. It took time. Okay? Some days I lost subscribers. Some days I had 2 or 3. The subs were so high and then dropping that it averaged out to just a few or none at all. We're starting to get back out there. You know, we're moving past the drama and the bullshit to get back out to what matters, our freedom. So I say, before I went to jail, I had about 500 to 700 subscribers a day, and my biggest subscriber rate in a day was 1,000, and I didn't have people bitching then, but they're bitching because I get 100 now, or 78, or 102, or whatever it is for that day. So, what else? Bootlickers is good grease if you liquidize them. Mr. Canute. Mr. Canute, it was actually, hey, it's great to have you here, Mr. Canute. Hey, folks, yesterday was saying that we got $600 of donations because one gentleman, Mr. Canute, gave about $500 in donations. And thank you so much for doing it, but they tried to leave out the fact that it was a Norwegian crown that's not the equivalent to US dollars. So we were explaining, Mr. Canute, you donated yesterday 200 and okay. And Joe Orga is so thankful for that. But can you tell us in US dollars what 200 and okay is equivalent to in US dollars? Joe is free, by the way. Joe Orga is free. Okay? Would I audit? I have done my hometown PD, Pat. Okay, guys, there you have it. 600 knock I gave you. That's $80, I think. And thank you so much for that. The total for the day came out to 94, but 600 knock is about $80 US. Thank you so much. Joe has received that. He'll be going live. He addressed that yesterday. Fact, he was punched. We already went over it. Right to the solar plexus. In fact, it's on film. Kenny, if you'd like to slow it down, I can send you, if you email me, a 10-second clip of that ultra slowed down. Maybe you missed it. And then when I send you the clip, I'd like your public redress. To maybe admit you were wrong if you are. Because here's the thing, Kenny. I disagree with you, and me and Kenny butt heads on about everything. Okay? And people that say, not for nothing, and I think Kenny can actually stand up for me on this. People say I delete comments. Okay? I delete comments. Kenny's comments continuously come through. However, I saw a comment that he wrote this morning. He go, and Kenny, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, Kenny Klein, that, what was it you said? He said, I don't like any of these auditors, but these Worcester police really made themselves look like fools. And they better pursue it and not just, I think he said, cave like Auditing America did, I think is what he said. So, and I said, for the first time, I agree with you on everything. For the first time, we agree on everything, Kenny. That, you don't have to like us. The cops acted like idiots, and we shouldn't be taking any deals. We should pursue this to the fullest extent. Redress your grievances to your government. They should always fear the people because the people are liberty. Kenny said that. Now, Kenny, like 99.9% of the times he'll say something argumentative or negative to me, which is not necessarily negative in his argument because it's his freedom of speech, but it was positive for me. I actually pointed that out and took a screenshot of it so I could take a look at it later without having to find it, because it shows that even the people with the most difference of opinions can come together to agree on something. regardless of whatever else he thinks about me, he can at least agree that those police were ridiculous. That's important. Gotta practice what we preach. We will win. Argument is good. You're right. People are waking up to these pig devils. All right. Trying to go through the comments. Waking up to these pigs. Say what you want about Enrique, but he takes care of his family. I don't have problems. Who's saying something about Enrique? That's the person I called to come down. I've worked with him a bunch. No one has an issue with Enrique. You guys make it up as you go along sometimes. Crazy Boxers, thank you so much. Yeah, Road to Prison. Some comments are automatically not deleted, but withheld. So it'll take a moderator to see those comments and then either allow them or to delete them. But if so many comments are coming through, sometimes you just don't see it. GD has 264 sock accounts subbed to you, Josh. Well, I mean, I have no idea if that's the case. Let's ask GD. Because I have no idea. I don't even know how you make 264 sock accounts. I mean, I got one account. Howard Rourke, I haven't deleted any of your comments, but you don't know what you're talking about. Because in Massachusetts, on the ticket, it doesn't say failure to use directional. It's called an unmarked lane change. When you change lanes without using a directional or a signal, it's an unmarked lane change. Okay? Kenny Klein, I have not viewed your retort yet, so I can't quote it because I haven't seen it. Let's see. You blocked my other channel and deleted my comments, so yes, you do. I don't even know what your other channel is, so. They do abuse badges. Southeast Kansas watching. What's up, Southeast Kansas? Well, Kathy, debating an issue isn't a bad move. Well, not only if you debate, but furthermore, if you have a conversation in the Worcester Police Department, you're subject to illegal search and seizure, assault, and arrest and kidnapping. So be careful where you practice your debate. Make sure it's not in Worcester. West Valley Transparency, always glad to have you. Yep, by purchasing the ticket, you agree to walk through security. That's why I said it's like the TSA is dual consent. If you just if you knew nothing about it and then you went there, you still have the option to not go through security. You're sacrificing your own freedoms and security for safety. So TSA is like the perfect retort to Benjamin Franklin's quote. Because you are for the TSA, you are literally sacrificing your liberty for security. Oh, people in here talking about Enrique. Well, we don't have a problem with Enrique. Never have had a problem with him. Yeah, I mean, I have not, since my release, I've not been able to go travel the world. I've like been super busy, like fighting my case and, getting back to work. So I haven't been really able to get out there. But what happened? As soon as something happened with Joe, I went live on my phone and I said, someone tell Enrique what's going on. We're still friends. Okay. We can't possibly, and he's traveling to a lot of other places, It is in fact an unmarked lane violation. That is in fact what it is. I'm not going to address it again. Listen, you sign a contract to pay it. We'll pull out into traffic. I won't use a directional in front of a cop when he pulls me over and gives me the ticket for an unmarked lane change. I want you to look at the citation and tell the world that you're a fucking moron. Mr. Canute, thank you. Here's a perfect description for everyone, by the way. NOK20, $2.1. Thank you very much. Well, it's all about educating. It's all about educating. Hit that like button. What's up, Harry Potter? What's up, ignorant pleb? Yesterday on the Bristol show, a caller said they called the police department to forewarn them of your visit. Does that make them an accessory to the matter? That's just someone seeking fame because the only people that knew we were going there were myself, Danielle, and Joe Orga. We didn't know we were going there until after I left Paxton. We didn't decide we were going to Worcester until we just started driving. So literally no one knew, and we weren't in Danielle's car. No one knew where we were going. So they're just seeking fame. They're just seeking to be recognized because their mother probably beat them as kids. No idea, Mark. Okay, Chrysaw. This is a touchy issue. This is a touchy issue. Okay. Um, I, you have the ability to go into a public school and film whether your child goes there or not. I choose not to. I'm holding. So yes, you have the ability to. I don't. I don't even go to the kids' room in the library because most of the time the kids in the kids' room aren't even old enough to learn about the Constitution. I'm here to hold our employed officials accountable. But yes, you can do it. Will I do it? No. Absolutely not. There's just no reason for it. They're not aware of the Constitution that we're defending yet. Oh, listen, Alcom says, I stated on Enrique's live stream that he is nothing without me and HTTG. You wrote that in his live about a week ago. Do you have any idea how many Accountability for All fake accounts I have to block? Do you know that there was an Auditing America account with his same picture? That's why he changed his picture, by the way, guys. Saying, oh, fuck you, this, that, and the other thing. People have no lives, right? You can make the same name, same picture, so that was not me. I would just call him and tell him whatever I had to say to him. I wouldn't just randomly put it in his live stream, not for nothing. Not because they're not great videos, because the stuff that he puts out is awesome. The work Enrique's doing is awesome. His channel's blowed up. He deserves every second of it, and I wouldn't have a voice without him. That aside, I don't watch his work because I'm delved and in depth in my own. So I haven't even been in seen one of his videos or been in his live streams since I left jail. You know? Yes. Yes. Josh shows that's not even accurate. Auditor. Josh owes 75% of his subs to Auditing America. Enrique knows that Josh wouldn't say that. More so. When I filmed my first video, I had 23 subscribers. I did my first video with Auditing America. I had 1,000 the next day, and it just went crazy from there. I owe my voice to Auditing America. They gave me a voice. I would not abuse that voice by taking away from the work that he's doing and the voice that he gave me. Because I say that honestly. Some people only have a voice because someone gives them a voice, and they, instead of being loyal, they turn around and, run for the nearest payday. And the only reason people can listen to the bullshit they're saying is because someone else gave them the voice, the same person they turned on. It's not the case with Enrique. He's a phenomenal dude. His family's beautiful. His wife is awesome. He's a great guy. Thank you, Lem. Going back to some questions. Yeah, I know. There's a Josh Abrams that's fake. I've got 3 Accountability for All with very similar pictures as well. Melissa Lynn says, who is my favorite YouTuber? It's tied. Like I've always said, James Freeman, Eric Brandt, Auditing America. Josh Martinez is awesome. He's probably one of the most well-spoken, well-educated folks I've met. Okay. I don't know who that is, Mr. Canute. Oh, I'm your favorite YouTuber. Yes, you are. You are up there on my list. That is a fact. Ken Dalton has literally been there from the beginning. From the beginning. There's so many subscribers that I call friends now, that I talk to in a daily basis, that I have become friends with. And it's a beautiful thing. I try to keep in contact because now my number got leaked and I got thousands of people messaging me about everything. But I keep in contact with somebody from all over the world. I got woke up on my birthday. I'm not going to drop his name, from someone in Australia, and he wanted to talk about the police coming from, and I was actually, just in case he got arrested, I was actually able to touch base with another person in Australia near Melbourne, near Adelaide, Australia, that could be there and provide support. You know, it's an important thing that we're doing here. Hillbilly Jim, thank you. Thomas, that's not a bad idea. We've done something like that. We've went to the federal buildings in Boston. We did the Secret Service, DEA, Homeland Security. We did everything. Freeman is great. Is that an appointment? Hot tow truck girl is at an appointment right now. Let's see. Oh, sorry guys. Did I cover the thing? Sorry. Yeah, Stacy. We consider you a friend too. Stacy, Jackie Green, Ken Dalton, Jay Bird, Jay Shade, Maverick Street Accountability, Hawk Rob from Hawkeye Patriot News, Geo George too. I remember all you guys. Same to you, Ken. Thank you, Jaden Blair. News Now, South Carolina is freaking awesome. I like him. Yeah, Jeff Gray's awesome. Jeff Gray's freaking awesome. My Two Beagles. Who needs to forgive My Two Beagles? He sent me an email, didn't he? I don't have a problem with him. I get a lot of emails. Malcolm First Amendment doesn't allow the homeless to take over our police stations. Well, the First Amendment, the Second Amendment is only enforced so we can bear our arms to defend our First Amendment. So technically, if homeless or any other people felt that justice had been overrun by tyranny, they could so do that if they chose. What's up, Trent? Auditor courthouse. Kind of hard to do around here. Three pending cases for calling police names, not fighting words, just bad words. Harassment, they call it. Probably another 20 days. Well, Canute, let us know what happens and keep us updated, because there are some basic freedoms that you should have anywhere. And unfortunately, there's places that aren't like the U.S. that don't have those freedoms. Thank you, Dalt992. Jackie Green, got your email. I cannot respond right now because I'm having trouble with my Gmail. So we've had to send a new password and all that other stuff. So I know you sent it. I will try and get back to you. Right now, I cannot send an email. Come try. Good luck with it. Yay. Just a little jaded. We love you. Watching from the UK, Lou Marie. Awesome. Worcester PD, yeah, they're terrible. Worcester PD is disgusting. Most courthouses you can't audit. You just can't. They have like own law put into place. Hold on, I'm trying to read this comment. And we all stayed aboard the ship when it was under attack from all sides. You sure did, Rob. Sure did. What's up, Frank Rizzo? Jar bad. Probably hiding some weirdo in their closet. Any other questions? I'm just trying to go through these. Why did you run from your friends at the Worcester PD? So I was within 10 to 15 feet the entire time. Now, here's the thing. I could have ran in, started fighting off cops, and me and Danielle could have got arrested, and then there'd be no footage to prove what these cops did. And there's a reason they went after him. I don't think they recognized him. But when they started figuring out what was going on, I think they wanted one lamb to sacrifice. But we did not turn around and leave until he was in cuffs. If I left, we wouldn't have got the whole thing on film. So you're a fucking moron. You have the First Amendment protects your freedom of speech, but it doesn't protect you against sounding like a fucking idiot, which you are. And congratulations for that. We support you. Josh, do you think Kenny gives as much feedback? Hold on. Whoa, I'm losing it. Josh, do you think Kenny gives as much feedback to the police about their wrongdoings as he does to you? I doubt Kenny's even called the police. I had a feeling Worcester was that bad. And you know what, guys? You want to know the reason I was going to go to Worcester? Here's the reason. Illegal checkpoints. We were going there because they set up illegal checkpoints. You have no choice. You go through, you give up your Fourth Amendment right, or you go to jail. We went there for illegal checkpoints, and we left with illegal... We went there for illegal search and seizure. We left with evidence of illegal search and seizure, at the very least. The Worcester PD is disgusting. The chief of police there in the Worcester Police Department needs to get on the ball, get this guy fired, because here's what we're doing. Lawsuits, guaranteed. Criminal charges, guaranteed. And I think that the officers involved all crumble in the internal affairs report, and they all point the finger at this fucking loser idiot, scumbag pig that did this, because they know they're going to lose their jobs. Those cops are pretty far back. Wouldn't they want to get in the action? No, not with illegal search and seizure and assault and battery. 3 felonies in 50 seconds by an armed, small-penised criminal. Goddamn Worcester PD. The mayor should fire him. The chief of police should be disowned for even having cops like that. Get mental evaluations, get drug tests, do your friggin' job, and get up off your ass. I'm calling you out. And you know what? I'm going to audit the Worcester Town Hall. I'm going to go speak to the mayor, and I'm guaranteeing you right now he won't speak to me. I will have a calm dialogue with you. I will speak to you just like this, because I can't hold you responsible for the actions of others, but I expect you to hold these others responsible for their actions. As do I, the chief of PD. Public apology to Joe Orga, myself, and HTTG. Fire this scumbag. He lost his right to wear our badge. And when if you don't do the right thing, and you don't, you just allow this cop to go, then we're going to hold you responsible. And we're going to start asking questions from your campaign. And when you go out to run for the next election, I will be there every day to vote and support for your opposer. Fact. Because if you hate freedom, get off my public office. All right, guys. Hopefully the mayor of Worcester and the chief of Worcester Police Department will do the right thing. I can't say that they're not going to. I'm just saying I hope that they do the right thing. You know, there's no one that can say this wasn't an assault on American freedom and the Constitution itself. The guy calls the Constitution shit. It's disgusting. Anyways, Kenny, people that disagree with me are not domestic terrorists. People that support officers that violate the Constitution and call it shit, hate freedom, and are terrorists. It's a fact, Ken. Thank you to all the moderators. Really appreciate it. Click, share, like, and subscribe to Joa Orga on his YouTube channel, Breaking the Flaw. The video I released yesterday called Auditor Punchroll Handcuffed, share that. Make it viral. Go to Joe's PayPal account, www.paypal.me/CRRI. That's Community Response Rhode Island. It's something Joe set up. And if you have trouble doing that, contact Joe directly. Pay his lawyer directly. Let's get him some excellent representation. Let's hold these officials accountable. And let's let them know that that's the reason we stopped them today. Thanks for watching. Thanks for your support. And if you hate freedom, now, God save the Queen and your soul. Bye.